Good morning, fam. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you all are well. Hope you all are keeping safe. It is currently 5 a.m. in the morning, right? South African time. And you know what? Let's look at this beautiful pair called the Nasdaq. So what we can basically see is that we did find ourselves have a we found ourselves having a closure above our actual point of interest, right? Which I pointed out yesterday. And then we found ourselves having a beautiful sell off right from that area onwards, right? Now, I'm not too confident with what price is basically presenting to us at this current moment. Right? We can see that we had a whole lot of back and forth, and you know what? I do not like this price action, right? We have a whole lot of fundamentals coming through as well. So, you know what? There is a high possibility of me not even finding myself trading over the course of today, right? But you know what? Let's see what is happening on this beautiful pair, right? So what I will basically find myself boxing out is this, you know what, previous opening gap we have found ourselves creating, right? And since we are finding ourselves traveling above this area, you know what, this opening gap is now serving as an area of support, right? It's serving as an area of support where we can potentially see a bounce from, right? Yes, we can potentially see price come back into this fair value gap over there, as well as we do have some news events coming through, right? And with us basically having some news events, you know what, I'm not trying to be predictive with price, but I'm just trying to find myself moving with the overall momentum into what prices, are trying to present whatsoever, right? And currently with us basically having a closure above this area, this is basically telling me that, you know what, there is a possibility for us having a further continuation move back towards the upside, right? So looking at the daily time frame, just by looking at week structure, we can clearly see that we did find ourselves taking out the previous day high right over there, right? So we find ourselves creating some higher highs, right? If we're going to look at week structure, high, higher high, higher high, right? And we can see that we are failing to take out these lows right there, right? So the exact same analogy to which I basically had over the course of yesterday, if price is going to find itself taking out these lows, right? There's a possibility for the base trying to step in and, you know what, wanting to push price a little bit lower, right? So that is something that I always just keep in mind, weak structure, right? When it comes down to, you know what, me looking at the daily time frame. All right. Another thing that we can also see is currently happening on the daily time frame is that, you know what, these highs, they are quite relatively equal in my eyes. So, you know what, we can potentially see price actually having that shift towards the upside to find ourselves taking out those highs right over there. Now, one thing you need to take into consideration is that, you know what, if you want to see price have that shift towards the upside, you need to go on a lower time frame, and your lower time frame basically needs to confirm that, you know what, there is a possibility for us having that actual shift back towards the upside, right? So scaling to our H4 time frame, maybe if I can just remove all the noise. Scaling to the H4 time frame, we can clearly see that yes, we are in somewhat of a range bound market, right? We can clearly see that we are in some sort of an actual range bound market right over there. However, we can also see that if I'm gonna do the following, right, just like that, just like that, and maybe just zoom price in, be a little bit extra, just like that, just like that. We can see that we had a closure above this previous high, right? So that to me is basically us having a, you know what, being creating initial higher high, or we basically find ourselves creating a higher high right over there. We can also see that with this candle over there, there's no wick, right? There's no wick at this area. So I would actually like to see us come all the way back up and basically take out that wick right over there. And you know what, if we can find ourselves having a closure above this volume imbalance we have found ourselves creating, you know what, that will also serve as a potential area of support for a further continuation move back towards the upside, right? That is something that I have in the back of my mind. All right. So scaling to our lower time frame, you know what, H2 time frame is also not showing the best price action. H1 time frame, you know what, it's also not showing the best price action, but you know what, let's just move with what we have. So we can clearly see that over the course of yesterday, we did have these relatively equal lows coming through over there as well, and price basically took out liquidity, and we had a beautiful shift back towards the upside, right? So the nearest areas of liquidity I will basically find myself having my eye out on will basically be this low we have found ourselves creating right over there, which is currently coming through as my sell side liquidity, as well as this low right over here as well, right, which is also coming through as my sell side liquidity. All right, as my sell side liquidity. So with us basically finding ourselves traveling at this area right over here, I would actually favor for us to basically take out this area of liquidity right over here and have some sort of initial shift from this area onwards, and not necessarily take out these lows right over there, because just like I mentioned, right, if we are going to find ourselves having that shift towards the downside and we have that closure below, you know what, there is still that high possibility of us then seeing price having that shift back towards the downside. Is it expected? Yes, it is expected, right? Or we can find ourselves expecting that, as we can also see that price is finding itself, you know what, showing a whole lot of momentum. We have huge pushes towards the upside with huge pushes back towards the downside, huge pushes back towards the upside with huge pushes back towards the downside, right? So there is a possibility for price basically presenting that to us, right? So that is just something that you need to keep your eye out on as well. However, I would still, you know what, like to see us, you know, just take out this sell side liquidity for a further continuation move back towards the upside, right? Now, one thing that is also standing out on the actual 15-minute time frame, if we can just zoom price in a little bit, we can see that, you know what, we had a beautiful, what is this, double top formation, which price have found itself creating. However, with us basically creating this double top formation, what we can also see is that price found itself doing what? Price found itself creating some relatively equal highs right over there. So you know what, with price basically creating those relatively equal highs, I would like to see us have that actual shift back towards the upside to at least violate these equal highs. So, you know what, over the course of today, I would most probably would want to see some beautiful longs opening up. So that will basically be the bias for today, right? Based off what price action is showing. I would like to see some buys opening up on this beautiful peak called the Nasdaq, right? Are you going to find yourself looking for some longs, or are you going to find yourself looking for some shorts? Let me know in the comment section. Make sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask. It's me, your boy D. I'm going to see y'all in the next one. I'm out.